The most terrifying part of a disaster isn't always the chaos. It's what happens next. The silence when calls won't go through, texts don't deliver, and families are left wondering if their loved ones are safe. But what if that silence hits your family? No one knows what to do. We don't believe in fear-based prepping, so please don't misunderstand the purpose of this video. We believe in preparedness because it's one of the clearest ways we show we care. And of all the things you can prepare for, communication, the ability to stay connected to the people you love, might just be the most important of all. We live in an age where everything from baby monitors to backyard lights are connected to Wi-Fi. But here's what we know from years of working in the technology space. Convenience can disappear in seconds. Floods knock out power grids, tornadoes bring down cell towers, firestorms burn through fiber optic cables, and when that happens, our fancy smartphones become nothing more than glowing rectangles with no signal and no help. That's why a plan matters, because when the systems we rely on stop working, the only thing that keeps people connected is the clarity of what to do next. And that clarity doesn't come by chance. It comes from preparing when the skies are still clear. Start simple. Who are the key people in your family's life? Who lives under your roof? Who lives nearby? And who can you count on outside of the immediate danger zone should you need a remote command center? Think about kids, grandparents, caregivers, siblings, best friends, and neighbors. Everyone should know who to contact first and in what order. In the chaos of natural disasters, not everyone will be able to connect at the same time. That's why it's vital to designate someone outside of your city, someone who's less likely to be affected by the same event, who can act as your family's message hub and command center. During emergencies, long-distance calls sometimes go through more easily than local ones. If everyone knows to check in with Aunt Carla in Ohio, and Aunt Carla becomes the one place everyone updates, instead of wasting precious time and battery calling each other over and over again with no answer. This check-in chain has saved lives. We've seen it happen many a times. Cell phones are great until they aren't. When the grid collapses, you need backup methods that don't rely on strong cell service or broadband. Family walkie-talkies with designated channels can work surprisingly well if you're within a few miles of each other. Also, apps like Zello can function like push-to-talk radios over minimal data and are especially useful in areas with spotty service. Text messages often go through when calls don't, especially when towers are congested, but none of it matters if your phone is dead. Backup batteries, solar chargers, and even crank chargers should be a part of every family's emergency kit. A dead phone is a live emergency, is a heartbreak waiting to happen. You also need to decide what platform or format your family uses to communicate during a crisis. Group text, WhatsApp, a short Google Doc with instructions. Choose it now, before things go wrong. If it takes more than 2 seconds to explain to a child or elderly parent, it's too complicated. Keep it clear, keep it simple. Make sure everyone practices using it. And remember, technology is a tool, it isn't a plan. There's something grounding about knowing where your people will be during chaotic events, especially if communication fails entirely. A predetermined meeting place becomes your safety net. Every family needs two, one nearby and one farther away. The local one can be a community center, school parking lot, even a neighbor's front porch. It should be somewhere familiar, accessible on foot, and safe in most scenarios. The out-of-town location is for when the event is large-scale. Think wildfires, hurricanes, tornadoes, and major flooding. It could be a relative's house, a church in another county, or any place you all agree on. During a recent flood, a family had split into 3 cars and lost all contact on the way out to safety. Cell service dropped and they couldn't get a hold of each other for hours. The only reason they found each other again that day was because they had a meeting point already set, one they talked about, laughed about, and eventually agreed to months earlier. That simple conversation saved them from hours of terror. Everyone assumes they'll remember what to do when the moment comes. They won't. Write down your plan, every name, number, email, app, channel, and meeting point. Store it in family members' phone. Print a copy and tape it inside the pantry. Laminate one and put it inside the glove box. Make extra for backpacks, wallets, and purses. Don't assume your kids will remember a phone number when they're cold, scared, and in the middle of a crisis. Don't assume your spouse will recall the radio channel when your house is shaking or flooding. A printed plan is your lifeline when your memory fails you. You don't need to make it a big event, but you do need to make it real. Run drills. Talk through scenarios at dinner. Ask your kids, what would you do if the power went out and you couldn't reach us? Walk through what ifs without making it scary. When people know what to do, they don't freeze, they move, and movement is everything in a crisis. Families who practice are the ones that find each other faster. They're the ones who don't scream into voicemails or leave panicked Facebook posts. They're the ones who nod, take a breath, and follow the plan. Families don't all look the same, and neither should their communication plans. If you have relatives with mobility issues, make sure they have access to your plan in large print or with simple instructions. If you co-parent or live across multiple homes, make sure everyone on both sides has a shared understanding. Pets, too, deserve a plan. Who will check on them? Where will they go? The more unique your situation, the more important it is to talk now. While the sky is blue, the roads are dry, and their internet is still working. Nothing can compare to the horror on a father's face when he can't reach his daughter after a cell tower went down. It's equally heartbreaking to see a painfully frustrated mother hit redial again and again, praying for a ringtone to reach her child. Too many stories of missed reunions, long nights, and aching regrets, all because no one thought to write down a plan. The flip side of that is calm, sigh of relief, and joy and success of families that took the time to prepare. The difference isn't luck, it's preparation, quiet, intentional, and loving preparation. At the end of the day, this isn't about disaster, it's about family. It's about being there for each other in the most important moments of life, no matter what the world is doing around you. Creating a family emergency communication plan isn't a luxury, it's a commitment. It's how we say, you matter and I'll find you no matter what. So talk, write it down, practice, stay connected, because when everything else fails, love and a good plan should never be out of reach. What does your communication plan look like? Share it with us in the comments section below. They may be featured in one of our next videos. To ensure you don't miss out on your contributions to the community, don't forget to subscribe. Remember, stay safe, stay prepared, and always stay ready.